There are a lot of moving pieces on the political chessboard this week. It looks like celebrity DJ and private jet aficionado, the man we know as Anthony Albanese, has landed pretty heavily from his extended honeymoon. Now, that was obvious when the son of a single mother, who actually has an Italian father, finally turned his back on public housing. And in Tasmania this week, just prior to going to professional provocateur Kyle Sandilands' wedding, the PM was announcing hundreds of millions of dollars for an unnecessary stadium in Hobart. Now, the announcement wasn't welcome from some public housing enthusiasts who clearly felt deserted by the kid from Camperdown. You see, Albo is now an enthusiastic landlord with an impressive portfolio of properties. Impressive even for a socialist, I have to say. But he seems somewhat less eager to talk about the rental crisis currently in Tasmania.
Let's talk about housing, Prime Minister.
Do you want to? Yeah, I think you've had your say.
Well, who can really blame him? Wanting to talk about a multi-million-dollar celebrity wedding rather than public housing problems that he doesn't want to talk about. Once the electoral appeal of your own rise from public housing to the number one publicly funded house in Canberra has been actually used up, well, there's no real point in raising the subject again, is there? Anyway, the government was instead trying to talk up their economic credentials this week. We were told via press reports of a possible budget surplus thanks to booming commodity prices and soaring taxes. I point out, the government doesn't like commodities much or mining much, but they do seem to like a lot of tax. And we even had a monthly surplus of $1.6 billion in March. But hang on, don't get too excited. At that rate, we'd managed to pay off our existing debt in only about 50 years or so. It's a bit like paying the monthly minimum on your credit card. It takes forever to get rid of the debt. Still, if there is actually a surplus this year, or the next even, it would be a remarkable achievement, given the inability of any government to deliver one for 15 years in this country. If, and I stress if it does happen, well, let me tell you, it's more through the good fortune of circumstance than good financial management. Spending is way too high to be sustainable. And that means a surplus merely suggests that our taxes are also way too high to build a prosperous and productive nation. Maybe that's why the government is so keen to focus on reform of our immigration system instead of reforming our tax system.